Boom.
Yeah, lovely.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, 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 hello,
Hello,
hello,
hello,
hello.
hello. I have a different camera today because screw IMAX and the silly screen angles. I want to sit low. I don't want to be sat up here like it wants me to be. I want to sit down here.
So you go for the standing desk with your weird lumpy bumpy mat like me that makes me want to move around all the time.
That's what I mean. But right now I'm comfy. But if I switch to the iMac camera, my head's off the screen and it's focusing on half my torso for some reason. Like, why? Nobody wants that angle.
It's weird because obviously it doesn't have the mirror thing, or you don't have the mirror thing on at the moment, so everything flips as well. So
Oh
it
yeah,
always
this
that
camera
always,
doesn't. The other one does. There we go. Whoop,
that always throws me off
whoop,
that
whoop,
stuff.
whoop, whoop. I'll leave it on.
I'll see you later. I'll see you later. You're having fun. Okay, go.
I'm having a well good time. What else can I do? I can rotate myself. Woo. Anyway, welcome everyone to 30 Days of Tools. So we are on day 21.
21.
Excellent number.
Honing
And
in.
today's challenge is slightly different. So again, quick recap. If you don't know what we're doing, we're playing around with cameras and rotating them. But no, this is 30 days of testing. Our current one for October is tools, and therefore me and Mark thought, you know what, we're going to take part and we're going to stream every day, every weekday, and actually actively do the challenges. And today's challenge is slightly different, so I'm just going to stop talking really and give it to Mark. Let him do
I've
this.
as soon as I wrote this one down as a challenge to do when we were putting together 30 days, I knew this was going to be my favourite. And what I've created is a work of art, and it makes me so happy. I really enjoy it. But yeah, so today's challenge is quite simply put, is you've just got to click the button with a tool.
Click a button,
So
that's it.
click a button. So what I did was I created a button for us to click. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to come up with some ideas of different ways in which we can click the button. But all seriousness, it's a good opportunity to practice tools as well. So tools that you've kind of have an idea of that you want to have a go with, you can use to try and click the button. But also, like as demonstrated on the club posts as well, I've seen some of the entries already. There's so many different ways you can do this. There's so many different tools. So I think it's really interesting as well to sort of kind of stretch your tool awareness, stretch your lateral thinking with ways in which you could actually engage with this button. Do we get sound? Like, I don't think we'll get sound from my screen share, unfortunately.
We might do. Let
Yeah, well,
me,
we'll give it a go.
because I've got my system audio turned on. So let's give it a go. Should
But
we go
I'm,
straight
but
to it
I'm,
and give it a go?
yeah, yeah, cool. So this is it. Behold the button. I genuinely am so pleased with this. But essentially, all it does is we click on it. If I find the right window that I'm on,
No, we don't.
and it pops up. Might I propose you try it on your screen share very quickly,
So if I do it
just so
on mine,
we get the full beauty of this thing. Yeah. So now I've created a button that automatically makes the sound, so Richard doesn't have to trigger it whenever I mention the book.
oh, is that what this is? This is an
Yeah, you
active
see.
count of your book mentions.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, this is just it's literally just an element to click, but just a little bit of fun to add some sound effects and stuff, and have the opportunity to try and click it in many different ways. So yeah, we thought we'd actually try live because we've got about 20 minutes. We thought we might go for some different approaches. So I was thinking about this, and Richard, I'd like to go down the route of seeing if we could download a Chrome extension and see if there's something out there like some sort of macro tool that we could use. Because typically my sort of slant, my bias would always be to go down the code route in various different ways. But actually, I'd quite like to see if there's a way we could do this codelessly.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything you want to try experimenting, but that's where I was going to start.
No, I'm not really. I can't think of anything. You start there, and I'll see if I can think of something that's popped up.
Cool.
No pun intended, but see what.
So yeah, I was gonna just go for let's say like we've mentioned macros before, so I was just gonna search for macro and see what we get.
What I'm actually thinking about is some, like I built one in Selenium, but then I think later on people added loads of them. There was like things to play Farmville. So like as someone built, like is there actually just an auto clicker? So instead of a macro, is there any just kind of, click a button extensions?
Yeah.
There might be.
Well, so I think an important thing here is just to go back to what we talked about being tool aware. Is I knew like the word macro, but I actually ended up just using the auto suggest here, and I've come across this one. So iMacros for Chrome automate your web browser record and replay back what? How am I? It's my brain just
says
repetitious work. There we go. I don't know why my brain sort of froze there for a second.
You definitely don't ask me to read words out. I'm not the person to do that.
True. Okay, cool. So let's have a quick look. Version 10 is a branding update. So wow, this has been around for a while. Popular uses as a web macro recorder, form filler on steroids, and highly secure password manager. Oh, that's quite cool. Web developers use iMacros for web regression testing, performance testing, and web transaction monitoring. I hope they don't use it for performance testing because that fills me with anxiety. But it sounds like there's... Oh, wow, there's quite a lot to this, actually. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely interested in this. Let's give this a good old ad. Okay. Oh, that's nice. So we get a nice little help guide. Just hide that. Go through the usual stuff of no, I don't.
Oh, it's owned by Progress. It's owned by Progress, Mark.
Okay. Is Progress one of our sponsors?
They have sponsored us in the past, but they've bought a few other test tools.
Have they?
My brain is eluding me. But do they have like a product page? They bought
Telerik.
Yeah, that's it. Telerik. Yeah.
And Fiddler.
Yeah, so Telerik had Fiddler, and then they bought Telerik. Telerik's the one I'm thinking of. They bought, and they bought Chef as well, because I remember the Belfast office I think had Chef was an office there for a while. Yeah, so I'm not sure who Progress is, but they have been going about buying stuff. They did sponsor something, but don't know what.
I remember having a very in-depth conversation with Liz Keogh about Morrowind at that office, the Chef office in Ireland. It was great conversation. Right, okay, so I'm just going to dive into this. I'm going to get this thing up. Let's pin it here, and I'm going to give it a go.
I take it all back. They might have shown an interest in sponsoring something, so they never did. Boo! Boo! I'll get back on that.
All right.
Anyway,
so I see a record macro. Going to give that a go. Cool. Stop. Oh, you can take a screenshot. Okay, so save as and close. I'm going to call this the button macro. Okay. So can I just play this? So if I just do play.
We actually can't see what you're doing, just so you know.
Oh, so right, okay, I know one.
I've just realised.
Bear me a second. I will resolve that. So I'll stop the sharing for a second, but I will share my entire screen rather than darkness.
Multiple darkness. And okay,
there we go. So now, okay, cool. So it didn't work. So I'm going to try again anyway. So let's remove this. Well, that's a bit annoying. Okay, so we go record. I think what I need to do is close the window down. So I'm going to go record macro. So that does that. Open a new tab.
Well, the first step in that macro, interestingly, was go to progress.com. So it guessed that you wanted to go on the page you were on. So now you probably end up with both pages, but let's see what happens. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But I suspect I could probably just remove that.
Yeah.
And then I click this. Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to stop that.
I should click the button on my screen when you click to get the sound effect.
We'll try and sync it up, yeah, see what happens. Okay, cool. So, this is nice. So, kind of reminds me a little bit of Basic, actually. But yeah, so go to
like
new
really
tab.
Old, like Selenium IDE as well.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if it's been influenced by that. So if I can go save as, close.
So it's taken an ID by the looks of it. So your button must have an ID. I've not looked at your button, but
it does. Yeah. So if you look inside,
ID the button. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the thing is, I wanted to make this a challenge that wasn't necessarily about learning how to do selectors and stuff like that. I just wanted to make it just a case of, in a situation in which the actual application is behaving itself, this is how the tool would work. All right. So here we go. So I'm going to close this down. Also, you're welcome, Progress. Thank you for installing. That's quite all right. Right, let's play them. Let's play it once. Ooh. Yeah, it did it. Crikey, it really did it. It's quite a speed.
While you do that, I think there's an interesting thing that, obviously, it's not planned at all. Like Mark has just randomly Googled a macro, but it's interesting to see companies investing and buying Chrome extensions. Like it shows how. Yeah. Especially from a testing space, that we just assume that they're free, right? Built by some unknown person at some software company. But people, companies are actually buying these things and
oh wow, yeah, and you can actually
commercialize them.
Enterprise version and all sorts of stuff.
So your button worked. They clicked it.
It did and it didn't. So what was interesting was that obviously you can't hear it, but I can. But it didn't play the sound effects, and I wonder if it's because. How do I edit
the way
this?
it's clicking it, won't it?
Yeah, but also it happened at such a speed that I'm wondering if I could put like a sleep in there or something. So let's
It's
go.
interesting that there is no keyword for click. In your little code, it just says tag.
Tag, yeah.
I don't know what tag means.
Wait seconds equals 5. Good old. See, this is how I roll. None of this looking at the text and stuff. Let's just go straight in there. Let's add this in and see what happens. Wait seconds. Let's not do 5 seconds, but save and close. So hopefully we should have it should open. Wait a second or two, then go for it. And it may be that it just, because it takes a second for all of the assets to load in. No, it doesn't play the sound. Interesting. That's probably got something to do with the fact that there's a listener listening on this button, like an event listener. So it may be that it's somehow not triggering the event listener for that. Although that said, the event listener actually also handles the whole. So if I show you the code very quickly, I mean it's beautifully made, this code. Here we go. So DOM exception, play failed because the user didn't interact with the document first. So yeah, it's obviously doing something under the hood.
But can you do something else? Can you try and highlight some text or tab on, focus something to trick it in your macro?
Yeah, I'm going to try doing it with a keyboard this time. So I'm going to do a new one. Where have you gone? I've lost my. Where's my macro? There you go. Right, I'm going to try a new one. Record macro. But this time I'm going to tab into the button. And I'm going to hit enter. Cool.
I didn't sync up. I was so close, but I knew I was going to be behind.
I didn't pick up the tab in. That's a shame. So click that. Do that.
Dear.
and then hit that. All right, so stop. Okay, that seemed to work. So if I remove that first click, I've got these. Yeah, it's not recorded the tabs, so I can't. Interesting. So yeah, well, that's one way of doing it. Definitely shows, because I mean, this is the challenge with a lot of the in-browser sort of stuff, is that it doesn't interact with the system in the same ways that you would as a user, and this is why things like Selenium WebDriver exist, because actually it's probably the closest you're going to get to emulating user behavior with the system. But yeah, it's kind of cool actually. I quite like this.
So my phone made a notification which overtook my headphones. So whatever you just said, I reckon it was absolutely amazing. But I heard absolutely none of it.
I did wonder why I could hear myself for a second. That did throw me off.
I have no idea what happened. I know what happened to my headphones, but I've no idea what Ecamm decided to do. And I couldn't get it back, so I've just taken them off. But...
Yes, so I was just saying, like, I tried to do it with the tabs, with the keyboards and stuff, but iMacro didn't record that. But I was just saying, like, how I think this is a common thing we see with these tools that leverage, like, the JavaScript engine within a browser to do, like, things like macros and these sort of things, is that they actually do them under the hood, which is slightly different to how a user would do it. Right. So, for example, I wonder if it does something that's basically similar to, so if I refresh this, go away. And if I did document, get element by ID, and then I think it's called just called button.
Let me just move it out the way a little bit.
It's called the button. The button, and then do dot click. See, that does play the sound effects. So yeah, it's interesting. Maybe they don't call it via the document. Maybe they do some sort of inject some JavaScript in there or something to force it to do something. But yeah, that was cool. I like that tool. I'm definitely going to have a look at that some more in the future. Because actually, I could see myself using that when filling in stuff on our site.
Got a nice message here from James. Let me add that in. Oh, here we go. Take over the screen. But this is we didn't think about this when we designed our stream. Didn't think anyone would watch. So I'll get a place for these to go next time. I absolutely agree. Yeah, this is the problem with, well, not the problem, but this is one of the challenges we have now, is that the way that tools like Vue and React work is that they listen to event changes within form fields, and then update their internal state, which then updates the actual default value of a form field, which is slightly different to how HTML elements work in the past. So yeah, you have to be able to, you have to hook into the event listener and actually send a change event to it along with the text. And I think that's probably what's going on here. But yeah, I've experienced the same when trying to build like Chrome extensions and stuff to fill forms in, and when I've done things in the console tab when it comes to like React applications as well. If we had more time, I'd actually get RESTful Booker up and have a play with that and see how it goes with that, because I suspect I would have the same issues there as well. Looks like a future post on the club. Maybe let us know how you get on whenever you do find
sure.
time.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to have a go, but what I would do if I did have the time is, like, my JavaScript is, pretty weak and I hate it. But I would probably try and do it a bit like you did then via the console, but see if there's any other ways I could do it other than, just find the element and click it. Like, how else could I trigger like that behavior? I'd probably play around with that. And then if I had more time, I'd probably go and pick some of these codeless tools like you mentioned yourself. Like, just trying to think off the top of my head. I've not really had chance to play with, actually, let's look at some of our sponsors, seeing as, that ended up being a company. Like, I've not had a look at, like, Test Rigger, maybe.
Yeah, that was the one that sort of popped in.
Like, I know a lot of these tools are around now. Like, none of the like Provar's trying to, they're like kind of focused for on Salesforce, but I know they have the
Yeah.
ability to do stuff. So yeah, there's a
They've
few
had it for
tools
quite a
there.
while actually as well. Like Provar have had it. I'd say I remember looking at Provar's tooling before a lot of these other ones sort of popped up and stuff. So yeah, I think that's interesting.
Yeah, and then there's Keysight who have lots of products underneath their umbrella. So I think I'd want to mention not being tool the way. I've always been in the open source world, but I think it's just really I'm really curious now because there's just so many of these products coming out. Like they're just seems like anyone can just say we're going to build a test automation tool. Oh right, yeah, here's 20 million. So I think
Yeah.
and it's not a bad thing, right? It's nice to have options, but I think I'd love to, for my own personal knowledge, just to get hands on with a few of them, just to see, is it easy? Are you trying to make me do a load of other things that aren't actually just automating the task? Do I have to set up accounts and projects and whatever, or can I just get
Yeah.
straight in and automate clicking of the button and play it back?
Yeah, I would say that was a nice thing with that iMacro thing was, I was straight in there and
Yeah,
built, creating stuff very quickly, which was good.
But let's have a look. I don't have too much time, so we've got a few minutes really to click through. So yeah, Mark's goal was the craziest way you can click the button. So actually, before we do that, Mark, we did have a chat about some crazy ideas, didn't we? Like there was talks
We
about
did.
trying to build some Alexa skill.
Yeah.
That kicked off a Selenium script. There was the internet buttons that I think you've still got one, the actual
Yeah.
flashy button to press that
Yep.
and have that go off and do some sort of little magic.
I wanted to do like a voice controlled one, so
Yeah.
I could be like, yeah, Chrome, click the button for me, please, and it
So
does it for me.
if any of you have the skills to do something like that, please just do it and record it because everyone would love to see how you go about doing that. So got a few here. Start off with Han. Han's coming in. He's gone straight down the accessibility route, which is interesting. So he's thinking, can I use the mouse? Obviously. Can I then obviously press a button? He wants to compare the sound to the actual description. So he's going beyond just clicking the button. He's thinking about testing it as well. And then he's looking at it again. If you keep the button down, does it press the sound? But I think his first point really got me. Like, what other can skill readers? Sorry, can screen readers interact with that button, and how would they go about doing it? How would they read out what it is? Like, because it's a link, right? You've made it look like a nice, pretty button.
Yes, I have. Yeah, because I tried it with a button and it just it looked awful. It's like because it was basically trying to put the image inside the button. And because what I created was not a glyph icon or glyph icon, it just looked terrible. So I think, as soon as I started building this, I was sort of like, someone's going to look at this from an accessibility point of view, and like, even though I will try my best to make it accessible, I'm probably falling short of the mark.
Excellent. I'll take Mickey and I'll let you go after that one, I think. So we've tried a few different clicks, basically just to explore the mouse events, which results in a couple of sound variations. After that, I checked the dev tools to see more details about it. It seems like somebody likes jQuery who made this.
That's not actually interesting. I mean, how dare you slur me with such an accusation? No, it's because I'm using Bootstrap, so to organize the page. So Bootstrap is what requires jQuery, but actually all the JavaScript I created is just vanilla, straight JavaScript. Ain't nothing fancy in it. Just the audio library and just finding elements and changing them.
I see.
I didn't want to make it too complicated because I could have been there for days.
Want to take Jose?
Yes. So a man after my own heart here. So I'm immediately drawn, as I always am, to the code. So yeah, document.getElementById.click on the browser console. Played around a bit creating a snippet to force sequential clicks. Yeah, so you could do something where you just have it in a while loop and it just sort of keeps checking to see if the button's popped up and then click it again. That'd be quite fun. Something I've done in the past when I'm learning tools is I created, because I remember in an interview I was asked to create a number guessing machine in JavaScript, and my JavaScript was terrible at that point, so I failed the interview. But I still was like, I've got to learn how to build this just in case it comes up again. So I built it, and then I started building Selenium scripts, which would load up, play the game, and actually sort of analyze it and go like, if it says it's this, then like increase the number by 1, decrease the number by 1, that sort of stuff. So I think that's very cool. I like the fact that people are actually digging into the code as well and taking a look at it and trying to learn more about it to see what options there are.
So yeah, I think that's what nice is about Christoph. So I'm just going to ask him what auto clicker he used. So like he's mentioned that he looked at the traffic to see that you're calling assets home.wave.
Yeah.
Which then he basically opened an auto clicker and set the click timer of that to 3.5 seconds. So I'm guessing this opens. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
the
basically
audio.
using some clicker just to keep doing this. Which isn't really clicking the button. Like that's
not. But I like his pun of having a horny party. So it might not have been in the spirit of the challenge, but I still enjoy it.
Cool.
By the way, Richard, just as a massive tangent, I know you need to go, but I've been watching a lot of Taskmaster, and I think it's like I've been thinking a lot about our challenges and challenges like this in Taskmaster. Definitely think we need to do more Taskmaster stuff in the future.
So. And then Louise, I'll let you.
Yeah, so Louise found a different site, which, to be honest, I've never felt so slighted in all my life, Louise. What's wrong with my button? It's a good button.
I missed that. That's funny. Why did you do that?
Yeah, I'm not happy, Louise. I'm not happy. I bet that button doesn't make a funny horn noise. It probably does. Anyway, but I like the fact that she's gone and gone down the route with WebDriver, and see what happens.
Nothing. Just counts my clicks.
Not a single horny sound there at all. This is graceful. But I like that. So she's actually gone in and created like a proper WebDriver piece of code to load the browser up. I like the fact that you've taken the time to maximize the window. Yeah, disappointing it doesn't make the noise. But yeah, I like the fact that you've got it open. And it's similar to like the same sort of thing, which is find the ID and then hook into that and then send a click.
Louise, as you are there, can you update your script to play with Mark's button and see if that plays the noise? Not right now, but whenever you get a chance, that would be awesome. Don't apologise to Mark. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm just playing for the audience. But that'd be interesting actually, Louise. If you were able to do it with my button, because I think it'd be interesting to see actually if that does cause the sound effects to play. Because I've got to admit, that's the first time I've ever imported audio into a page, which is why I think it's a work of art. But I'm curious to know like what causes it to trigger, what doesn't, because things like audio and video and stuff in browsers, they have to be quite locked down. Yeah, very cool. It's some interesting things being done here.
Absolutely, and I think we mentioned it yesterday. This is the kind of thing that I'm hoping we can actually build up quite a decent repository of these on the website and have this these just like wealth of like pool of challenges. You can just jump in whenever you're like, I want to have a little hack. I want to be hacking with something web based or whatever it may be, and then we present you with a list of like little carters, little challenges to do and formalize some of these, because we've got loads now, haven't we? There's all the 30 days in the past. There's UI week. We did some for exploratory week. We had what was the E week when we did. We pimped out RESTful Booker and put all the staff's faces in various places.
Oh, yeah.
So there's like stuff like that. I think that it's fun, and you could probably do that in multiple different ways. So there we go. That's challenge 21. I have to disappear, but I hope you all have an awesome day, and can't wait to see more ways to click Mark's, to basically press Mark's buttons.
Push my button. He does regularly.
It's true. Yep. All right. Bye, everyone.
End it there.
See you later.
Bye.